Oh, there we go. Test. Okay, we are on. We just watched Kylie Hendry and Jacoy Farnsworth. Kylie got pinned here in the first round. Sorry we're a little late getting on. I was down making sure I had everybody's names right, but we are on. We're here at South Summit High School for the duel with Duchesne. We're going to watch about 5 girls matches, and we're going to have some JV boys. And then we're going to watch another girls match. So coming up next, we got Dusty Black and Lucy Tom. I'm going to try to minimize my voice. I got a little laryngitis going, so I'm going to try to keep that going for the whole night. So Dusty Black, Lucy Tom. Lucy reaching in for that single leg, can't quite get it. Dusty tying up, shaking off. Ref's going to stop him. Got some, technical because she grabbed the head mask, the headgear. She cannot grab the headgear. So Lucy Tom accidentally grabbed Dusty Black's headgear. Ref awarded 1 point to Dusty Black as a technical. So he brings him back to the center and starts him again. .128 on the clock. Score is 1-0 for Dusty Black. Lucy Tom from Duchesne. Dusty reaching in for that single. She's got to go on the inside of that leg to get it. Both wrestlers still tied up on their feet. Lucy reaches in for a single on the outside. Dusty shakes her off. Lucy now getting aggressive, pushing in. Dusty tying up. 49 seconds left on the clock, first round. Both wrestlers still on their feet, still tied up in the center. Both of them have reached several times for that single, but they've been reaching on the outside. So more of a feeling out move than an actual trying to go for it. Lucy tries to do a little duck under. Dusty does a good job of backing back and turning sideways so she can't get it. Still on their feet. Clock winding down to 20 seconds. And now the ref is warning green for stalling. And Lucy shoots in for the single leg. She has the single leg, but she doesn't score the points before they go out of bounds. Ref's going to stop him with 12 seconds left on the clock and bring him back to the center. Both wrestlers still on their feet, still tied up. Clock ticks down to 2 seconds, and that's going to end the first round. Dusty Black, Lucy Tom. Dusty leading by a score of 1-0. Lucy wins the toss. She looks at her coach. She's going to take the top. Dusty's going to start the second round on the bottom. If you're signed in, either from South Summit or from Duchesne, call your friends and neighbors. Let them know that we are broadcasting this, that we are recording it as well on the YouTube channel. Dusty on the bottom, Lucy on top. Lucy with a nice elbow chop there, breaks Dusty down. Working on that tight waist, getting a little high now. You'd like to see Dusty take advantage of that. Lucy going for that half Nelson from a 3-point stance. And that usually doesn't work. But now Lucy pulls that ankle. Dusty does a good job of stretching that leg out, keep her from getting it. Lucy's still working on that half Nelson, but she's got to get her broke down first. Now Dusty reaches around and gets that leg. She should be able to do a sit out, get a reversal, or an escape. She's on her feet trying to get away, can't get away. They end up going out of bounds. So ref's going to stop and bring him back. Dusty's going to have to start again on the bottom. Talk to the ref a little bit. Mark, he's from Roosevelt, been reffing for 16 years. So he is one of the good ones. He knows what he's looking for. Dusty takes her place on the bottom. Lucy takes her place on top. And immediately Dusty goes for that sit-out reversal, and she gets it. She's going to get the 2 points. She's got the head, but all she had to do was walk that around. Now she's going for the half Nelson. She's walking that on the other side. Doing a good job tying up the legs. Keeping Lucy broke down. Score is 3-0. 56 seconds left on the clock in the second period. And now Dusty getting a little bit out of shape. She's getting too far forward on her. All Lucy's got to do is stand up and clear that head, and she's going to get an escape. Dusty does a good job putting those arms down in there, putting that pressure into her back, forcing her back to the mat, doesn't allow her to get the escape. Dusty still leading by a score of 3-0 with 30 seconds left on the clock. Dusty walking around now. Now she gets in a good position. Now she can start doing some work. 23 seconds on the clock. Lucy reaches around, grabs that leg. Dusty going for the cradle. She has the arm. She has the leg. If she can just get those fingers locked and roll her around. 15 seconds left on the clock. She gets her hands locked, but Lucy does a good job of stretching out and breaking that grip. Doesn't allow Dusty to finish that cradle. Dusty getting a little bit forward. Now she's working her way back. So the second period comes to an end. Dusty is leading by a score of 3-0. Both these wrestlers tired. We'll start the second round with Lucy on the bottom. Dusty Black on top. 3-0. Start of the third. 3-0 for Dusty. And they start him. Lucy immediately tries to go for a reversal. Dusty does a good job of just following her around, shoots the half Nelson. She's got the half. She's putting on a reverse tight. She's going to put Lucy on her back. Ref is down taking a look. She didn't get that good chest to chest, and so Lucy spun right out of it. And now Lucy's back on her hands and knees. Dusty is going to get the 3-point near foul. That's going to put her at 6-0. 1:30 left in the third period. Now Dusty with that hard half Nelson, she's putting her on her back. The ref's down taking a look. I don't think she's going to be able to pin her from here because Lucy's got that leg hooked. But she is going to get some near foul points. Now she turns it into a reverse half underneath. Almost gets the near foul, but doesn't quite hold her there long enough. She is going to get the near foul. Score's going to be 9-0. Now Lucy does a good job of getting on her feet, trying to get the 1-point escape. And as soon as she clears her head, she's going to have that reversal. 58 seconds on the clock. Now Dusty doing a good job. She's got the headlock, but she doesn't have an arm in it. I think the ref's going to have to stop her for potentially dangerous. But now Lucy's able to get away. Dusty releases the lock. Goes back to the half Nelson. 32 seconds left on the clock. Dusty still leading by a score of 9-0. But Dusty gets her right on her back. Chest to chest, and that's going to be it. Dusty with the pin. I almost feel like something happened with Lucy because when she went over that last time, she was out. So Lucy's refs stopping everything. Coaches are coming out to take a look. Because once she went to her back that last time, she stopped. And Dusty will get the pin. But definitely both of these wrestlers were just wore right out. Dusty Black with the pin over Lucy Tom. The match before that was Kylie Hendry. He wrestled J.C. Farnsworth. J.C. got the pin in that match. Okay, up next we have Brooklyn Ross wrestling Shaylee Ivy. Both wrestlers still on their feet. Brooklyn shoots in for the single, turns it into a double. Shaylee shoots for the double. Brooklyn does a good job of getting her arms down in there, keeping her from getting that. Shaylee driving harder now with the double. And Brooklyn doing an amazing job with that counter of keeping those arms down in there and doesn't allow Shaylee to get that double leg takedown. Now Brooklyn tries to go to a standing cradle, can't quite get it. Now Shaylee goes to the standing cradle. She can't get it either. They're getting near the far side of the mat. Ref is going to let them wrestle a little bit. And now Shaylee is able to do a duck under and get the 2-point takedown, the 3-point takedown on Brooklyn Ross. Clock ticking down to 1 minute. Brooklyn on the bottom, Shaylee Ivy on top. Brooklyn doing a good job keeping up on her hands and her feet. Shaylee there with a hard cross face. That does take Brooklyn down. Brooklyn now gets down flat on the mat. Starts working that 3-point back up. She's got her hands, can't quite get her feet. Shaylee's doing a good job of keeping that weight back on her. Shaylee gets a little bit out of position. Brooklyn does a good job of taking advantage of that. Gets to her feet, trying to break 3 to get that 1-point escape. She's got to break the hands. 20 seconds left. And she does. She gets the 1-point escape. Score is going to be 3-1 for Shaylee Ivy. Both wrestlers neutral now on their feet. And that brings one to the end of one. Brooklyn is going to win the toss. She's going to defer. Shaylee's going to choose to start the second round on the top position. Two minutes set on the clock, and immediately Brooklyn goes for that set out. She gets to her feet, trying to break the grip from Shaylee. Shaylee does a good job trying to pull her back down, but Brooklyn with an amazing job almost gets her standing reversal. Brooklyn now sucking up that single leg. She's going to get it. She's just got to keep going farther. Now she turns it to a double, and Shaylee ends up somehow almost pinning Brooklyn. Brooklyn got a little bit out of balance. She had the double leg, but she was not able to finish it. Brooklyn now back on her hands and knees. Shaylee up a little high. Like to see Brooklyn do some kind of a duck under or sit out. Brooklyn getting to her feet. Got to break that grip again. And that's going to put the score at 3-1. Brooklyn gets the escape. 3-2 now. Brooklyn Ross, Shaylee Ivy. Both wrestlers on their feet. 1 minute left in the second period. Both girls still neutral, still tied up. Shaylee shoots in for the double. She has the double. She's driving it through. Great crossface there by Brooklyn. Drives Shaylee down into the mat, keeps her from getting the takedown. Now Brooklyn's just got to get around behind her like she just did, and she'll get the 3-point takedown. That'll put the score at 5-3 for Brooklyn. Now Brooklyn going to a standing cradle. She has the arm, she has the leg. Can she finish it? She gets her rolled over. Scores 5-3, 25 seconds on the clock. Shaylee is still trying to stay on her stomach, but Brooklyn now with that standing cradle is able to get her around. She's down. She's got down on the mat. Ref's down, taking a look. Ref's still taking a look. 5 seconds left on the clock. I don't think Brooklyn can pin her before time runs out. She will get the 4-point near fall. That'll put the score at 9-3 to start the third period. Brooklyn Ross, Shaylee Ivy. Brooklyn will start the third round on the bottom. And immediately Brooklyn goes for that reversal. She has the leg. She goes to her feet, trying to get the reversal. She now has her on her feet with the double leg. Shaylee does a hard crossface right there. Keeps her from getting it, and Shaylee gets around behind her. Doesn't allow her to score the points. They're at the far right side of the mat. This ref, I really like the way he lets these girls wrestle. Shaylee now going for that standing cradle, but Brooke doing a good job of breaking that grip. She gets the 1-point escape. Score is going to be 10-3 now for Brooklyn Ross. Both wrestlers neutral on their feet. 1:21 left on the clock in the third period. Both of these girls wore out just like the other two. All of these girls, this is one of the best girls wrestling matches I've seen with just good, solid wrestlers on both teams. All these girls doing well-executed moves, following through, finishing up, and fighting hard. Both wrestlers still neutral on their feet as the clock ticks down to 45 seconds left in the third period. And now Shaylee goes for the headlock, misses the head. That's going to allow Brooklyn to stay on top as long as she can keep that leg. If she can clear the head, she's going to get another 3-point takedown. Brooklyn gets around behind her with a hard cross face. She's going to get the 3-point takedown, and now Brooklyn working for the pin. She's rolling her over. She has the double arm. Ref's down taking a look, and this could be it. She's got her. Brooklyn Ross with the pin. Shaylee Ivy with 15 seconds left on the clock. Third and final period. So amazing match there between Brooklyn Ross and Shaylee Ivy. Both those girls completely exhausted, and both of them went the full 3 rounds doing all they could. So up next we have Caitlin Goforth and Madison Ivy. Madison really getting aggressive right here off the start. Katie doing a good job of staying back. Madison shoots in for the double, drops to a single, trying to do the lift. Katie doing a good job Caitlin doing a good job of rolling her around and keeping her from getting that 2-point. If she can keep those arms, she's got to keep the arm in there. She stays neutral, doesn't allow the points to be scored, and now she's going to put Shaylee on her back. She's not going to get any points. She didn't get the takedown. She didn't get the near foul. Score is still going to be 0-0. Madison now shooting in for the single leg. Katie does a good job with that cross body, hard cross face, breaks the grip. She turns, gets around and gets Madison on her back now. She's going to get the 3-point takedown. She's going to get some near fall points. 50 seconds left on the clock. A nice, good reverse half Nelson there. And if Katie can finish this out, she's got to get a little more chest to chest, but she gets it. She gets the pin. Caitlin Goforth, 42 seconds left in the first period with the pin. So Caitlin Goforth over Madison Ivy. Super job there by all 4 of these girls on the girls wrestling team. We're going to have one JV boys. Actually, we're going to have multiple JV boys. And then we're going to come back, and Caitlin Goforth is going to wrestle again, Caitlin McPhee. So glad that Caitlin was able to get that pin in the first round. Gives her a chance to recuperate for the second.
Cooper, Heidi, Easton, Gordon, Brendan Lamb, Dave Prescott, Hayden Schultz, and Eric Saylor. Ethan Hunt, Vince Brown, Brandon Grant, and Brandon Nelson, Jason Burke.
Okay, we are going to be starting the JV boys here soon. If you're online, call your friends and relatives. Let them know that we are here at South Summit tonight with the duels between South Summit and Duchesne. If you're from the Uinta Basin, you can still pull us up on YouTube. Go to the South Summit YouTube channel, and you'll be able to not only watch but hear us as long as my voice holds out.
I usually get the link to the opposing coaches, but I didn't have time. Okay.
What's that?
Can I make it easy for you?
Yeah.
Katie Lynn.
Katie Lynn?
Yeah.
There you go.
She'll be going again probably.
I know. I got her down here. I can't wait to watch. She did good.
She's like, if I can make it.
Yeah. She'll make it. Okay, we're going to be back here with JV here momentarily. I'm going to take just a couple of minutes to step off here. I'll be right back on. If you are from the Uinta Basin and you have relatives, let them know we're on the YouTube channel. If you're here at home, if you're traveling home from work, want to hear and see the wrestles, just pull it up on your phone, YouTube channel, South Summit High School YouTube channel. And if you still can't make it to watch it live, you can. This is recorded. You'll be able to watch it for whenever you want. It looks like we're going to go ahead and get started. First match is going to be Mason Burt and Brock Marchant.
Okay. Basically, my only question was for you was, do you want to do a digital scoreboard? No? Okay, I'm just talking about that. Okay. 3 matches I can. It's first period, right? It was pretty quick. Yeah.
Okay, it looks like we did get started here with Brock and Mason Burt. Brock Marchant from South Summit. Brock gets the 3-point takedown right off the bat with 30 seconds into the first round. Doing a hard crossface with a tight waist. Tries to go to the cradle. I don't think he can get it. He's pulling on the arm, pulling on the leg. Backs back out. Mason trying to get to his feet. And ref's going to stop him for potentially dangerous. That's going to give 1 point to Mason Burt from Duchesne. Score will be 3-1 for Brock Marchant as the ref stops him, brings him back to the center of the mat. Mason will be on the bottom. Brock will be on top. 1:13 showing on the clock. Mason immediately goes to his feet. Brock tries to do a lift and take him back down, but can't do it as Mason gets the 1-point escape. Score will be now 3-2 for Brock Marchant. 1 minute left in the first round. Both wrestlers on their feet, tied up at the near side of the mat towards the scorer's table. Mason shoots in for the single. Brock does a good job of turning that into a reverse half with the head. Still hasn't been able to get around behind him to get the takedown, but he does now, has a reverse half on him, and he's going to put Mason on his back. Not enough to get any points, but he will get the 2-point near fall. Mason tries to stand up. Brock puts him back down. Score is going to be 8-2 now for Brock. Mason on his hands and knees. Brock on top. Brock goes for the cradle. He has the head. He has the leg. He's got it sucked up. Ref's down taking a look, and Brock's going to get him. From a standing cradle. Brock Marchant gets the pin with 10 seconds left in the first period. Up next, we're going to have Cooper Ivy from Duchesne and Easton Gordon. Still waiting for Easton Gordon to come onto the mat. And here we go.
Next will be Gage Prescott. And then
Both of these wrestlers still on their feet, dancing around. Easton trying to do a little step behind there. Cooper reaching in for that single. Easton doing a good job of staying back. Easton now getting caught in a headlock. Cooper puts him down on his back. Ref's going to get down there and take a look. Easton trying to get out of that. Cooper Ivy has a tough headlock on him. Ref is taking a look. 1:23 left on the clock. I don't think Easton can get out of this. Cooper sucking it down harder, and Cooper Ivy gets the pin on Easton Gordon with a quick headlock. Up next, we're going to have Brenner Lamb and Gage Prescott. Jumped up to 16. Brenner Lamb, Gage Prescott. Brenner shoots in. Gage does a good job of staying back. Gage takes it into a single, does the lift, gets the three-point takedown. Brenner trying to get to his feet. He gets the one-point escape. So both wrestlers neutral. Score is 3-1 for Gage Prescott. 30 seconds ticked off the clock. Gage shoots in for the single, does a duck under, comes out on top, turns it into a crossbody ride. Gets the three-point takedown, drops the crossbody, getting a little high on him, starts working towards a cradle now. He goes for the arm and the leg. He has the head. If he can just get those hands locked. Brenner doing a good job of keeping him from locking those hands, but Gage has them if he can roll him over. Score is now 6-1 for Gage Prescott. Gage does have the cradle. He's going to try to walk it over. He's got to get him back on the mat. They're getting close to the going out of bounds here by the scorer's table. Brenner does a good job of breaking that grip of Gage Prescott, gets out of the cradle, gets back to his hands and knees. Gage now on a crossbody ride still. He goes back to the cradle. He has the arm and the leg, but he's going to end up going out of bounds before he can score any more points. Ref's going to stop him, bring him back to the center of the mat. Score is 6-1 for Gage Prescott over Brenner Lamb. Brenner on the bottom, Gage on top. They start with 34 seconds showing. And now Gage gets a little bit out of position. He tried to do that cross tight waist and arm block. Brenner almost catches him on it. Brenner trying to do the sit out. Gage following him around. Gage going to a single standing cradle. He has the arm and the leg, but he can't quite get it locked. He gets it locked. He's going to put him on his back. Gage now almost getting the pin, but not able to finish it off as Brenner is able to break that grip, get back to his hands and knees. Now he's getting back to his feet, and time's going to run out in the first period. Gage will score another 3 points on the near fall. Score is going to be 9-1 for Gage Prescott over Brenner Lamb as they start the second period. Gage wins the toss. He's going to go to the bottom. Brenner on top. And they'll start the second round. Score is 9-1. Gage goes to his feet. Brenner goes to a crossbody ride. Does a hard cross face. Gets a little bit out of position, and now Gage trying to get around behind him with a sit out. He's able to get everything out but his head. And now he gets the 2-point reversal on Brenner. Score is going to be 11-1 with 1:35 showing in the second. Gage going for that cradle again. He has the arm, he has the leg, but he can't get his hands locked. Brenner does a good job of stretching out, breaking that grip, and now Gage getting a little bit out of position. Brenner trying to take advantage of that. Gets to his feet. Both wrestlers are on their feet, but Gage still has a hold of the leg. Breaks Brenner back down before he can score any points. Brenner now in a 3-point stance. Gage still on top, working on the elbow. Trying to get that single arm bar. He has the arm, he has it locked through. Now he tries to go to the half, but he gets on the wrong side. He ends up putting Brenner on his back anyway. Ref's down, taking a look. 44 seconds on the clock. Gage on top of Brenner. Brenner's trying to get back to his stomach, but I don't think he can do it. Good job here by Gage. He's got the chest to chest. He's got everything stretched out. And ref's still taking a look, but from up here, it looks like a pin. I don't know what Brenner's doing to keep himself from getting pinned, but now ref is going to say it is a pin, and 21 seconds left. Gage Prescott, Brenner Lamb. Up next, we're going to have Hayden Mott and Garrett Saylor. Both of these wrestlers still neutral on their feet. We get up into these upper weights. A little different form of wrestling.
And then Easton Mountain, Ben Stroud, and Brandon Austin.
Both wrestlers still neutral with 1:20 left on the clock. Garrett Saylor shoots in for the single, can't quite get it. Hayden Mott does a good job of stretching out, keeping those arms in there, getting back in position. Both wrestlers back on their feet. I don't like to see Garrett sticking that leg out there. Makes an easy target for a quick ankle pick. Like to see him staying back on his heels and keeping that front leg out back a little farther. Almost tempting him for the ankle pick. 39 seconds left on the clock, first round. Garrett Saylor, Hayden Mott. Garrett shoots in for the single. Can't get it. Hayden does a good job of getting around behind him and gets the 3-point takedown. 17 seconds left on the clock, first round. Hayden Mott on top. Score is 3-0. Mott trying to cross face. Garrett trying to get back to his hands and knees. Mott working on the reverse arm bar. Time's going to run out. Score's going to be 3-0 for Hayden Mott. Hayden wins the toss. He's going to choose to start the second round on their feet. Neutral position. Score is 3-0 for Hayden Mott. Hayden Mott chose neutral. And Hayden reaches in there for a single, and Garrett Saylor does a good job of breaking him down and getting around behind him for a 3-point takedown. Score's now tied at 3 with 1 minute left in the second period. Garrett Saylor now trying to work that cross face. He's trying to roll Hayden over. He has the arm. Ref's down, taking a look. Hayden Mott is on his back. Garrett Saylor's got to get back a little more and get on that chest to chest. He's way over the top of him, and that allows Hayden Mott to stay on his stomach. Garrett has to get back, get it back in position, shoot the half, from where you're supposed to shoot it from and be more in control rather than just trying to roll him over. He is going to get the 4 points near fall, so that's going to put the score at 7-3 for Garrett Saylor. Garrett now getting back in position where he's supposed to be, keeps those hips lined up, drives that weight into his hips. Hayden trying to get to his hands and knees, and Garrett doing a good job of keeping weight on that lower extremity to keep him down. Hayden trying to get to his hands and knees. He gets up to his feet and hands, and Garrett is able to chop the elbow, breaking back down flat. He goes with the reverse arm bar. Now he's just got to loop that leg around his head and finish that around. 3 seconds left on the clock. I don't think he can pin him. But the ref is going to say it was a pin. I mean, he slapped the mat at the same time the buzzer went off. Ref's going to say, hey, it was a pin. And so Sawyer, Garrett Saylor is going to come away with the pin from Hayden Mott with time running out in the second period. That was as close to the buzzer as anything I've ever seen. Up next, we are going to have Tyson Stringer and Tanner Smith. Trying to conserve my voice a little bit. We got a lot of matches tonight. Tyson shooting in for that single leg. Tanner does a good job of staying away from it. Gets around, gets on top of him, gets a reverse arm bar, rolls Tyson on his back. Tanner getting that good chest to chest. Ref down taking a look. Tyson is on his back. Tanner with a good 3-point takedown. And now going to get some near foul points with 1:30 left on the clock. He sucks that arm up. Ref's down taking a look. And Tanner Smith is going to get the pin on Tyson Stringer. Good match. Up next, match number 6, and we got like 12 of these to go. Match number 6 is going to be Easton Moat and Bentley Cyril. Easton shoots in for the single. Bentley does a good job of keeping those arms down in there, stretching out, keeps him from getting it. Bentley still working that upper body. They're on their hands and knees. They're still neutral. Bentley has a hold of his head and one arm, trying to work around to get behind him for that 2-point. Easton does a good job of staying in front of him and spins right with him. Now both wrestlers on their feet neutral, tied up. 1:25 showing on the clock. Scores tied at 0, both wrestlers neutral, on their feet. Shoots. Easton shoots in for that single. He has the leg. Bentley's got to do a hard crossface right there. Easton does do a good job of stretching out, but Bentley does a good job of stretching out, but Easton has that leg. He has the arm. He's just got to clear the head, and he's going to get the 3-point takedown right now. Score's going to be 3-0 for Easton Moat. Bentley on the bottom, working on his way up to his hands and knees. Easton with a good tight waist and an elbow chop. Easton trying to work into that reverse arm bar. He has the arm. He's going to get the reverse half. Bentley doing a good job staying on his stomach, but I think Easton here is going to shoot a half. Now he turns it into a figure 4 on the waist. Kind of gets a little bit out of position. He's a little high. If Bentley could take advantage of that, clock ticking down to 10 seconds as they hit near the far side of the mat. Really like this ref letting him wrestle. Easton now working that single arm bar. He drives those hips in. He's way high. But that'll get him through the first round with a score of 3-0 for Easton Moat. Easton wins the toss. He's going to defer. Bentley's going to choose the second round on their feet. So they'll start the second round neutral. Both wrestlers still neutral, 1:30 on the clock. Looks like Easton Moat's headgear came off. Easton's going to get the 3-point takedown when Bentley tried to shoot in. They're at the far side of the mat, close to being out of bounds. Easton Moat on top, Bentley on his hands and knees. Easton now with that cradle, he gets the hands in the leg lock. He's got him on his back. Ref is down taking a look. Easton Moat has a cradle on Bentley. 1 minute left on the clock here in the second period. Score is 6-0 for Easton Moat. They're getting dangerously close to out of bounds, but I like the ref letting them wrestle. Now, Bentley somehow is able to break that grip of Easton Moat, and he gets back to his stomach. Easton Moat is going to get a 4-point near fall. That's going to put the score at 10-0. Easton now has that cradle again. He has the arms and the leg, but he can't quite roll Bentley over. 30 seconds left on the clock. Now he gets Bentley rolled over. Ref's going to get down and take a look again. Bentley does a good job of rolling through the cradle, gets all the way back over to his hands and knees, breaks that grip of Easton. And now Easton does a haystack on him. Easton does a haystack on Bentley. Ref is down taking a look again. And it's in tough shape here as they're almost completely out of bounds. Bentley does a good job of getting back to his stomach as time runs out, but that's going to give Easton a 4-point near fall, putting the score at 14-0. And I believe that is going to be a major decision. Nope. We're going to start the third period neutral. So I believe that Easton just has to score 2 more points, either a takedown or once he scores the takedown, the match is going to be over. Got some headgear malfunction. Easton trying on a couple of different wrestlers' headgear. And we're going to start the third period. Score is 14-0 for Easton Moat over Bentley Cyril. Easton shoots in for the single, goes to the double. He has the legs, he has him down, but he hasn't cleared the head to get the 2 points. Bentley doing a good job of keeping a hold of that ankle. That doesn't allow Easton Moat to score the takedown points. As long as Bentley has a hold of that ankle, he does not have the takedown. Easton trying to work to a cradle. He does get the ankle free, but now Bentley is smart to grab the leg. But now Easton has him on a haystack, and Bentley's going to get pinned with 1:17 in the third period. So Easton Moat pins Bentley Cyril with a haystack. Up next, we're going to have Brandon Brown and Rendon Ostman. Rendon shoots for the ankle, has the ankle pick, gets around behind him, gets the 3-point takedown. Rendon breaks him down. Brandon on the bottom. Rendon shoots the half. Gets a little bit high on him. Brandon tries to go to his feet. Rendon tries to throw a cradle on. Can't do it. Rendon back on his feet. Brandon trying to stand to his feet. Rendon tries to lift and throw him. Rendon still has the control, so it's still 3-0. And now a good throw by Rendon. Puts Brandon back on the mat. He goes to a cradle. Gets a little bit out of position. Can't lock his hands. Brandon now trying to get the escape. He is able to get free and get a 1-point escape. Score is going to be 3-1 with 1 minute left in the first period. Both wrestlers neutral. Brandon tries to reach in there for an ankle. Now tries to do a head chuck. Now, Brendan reaches in, and Rendon does a good job of grabbing that single leg. We lost video here for a minute, but Rendon is still on top. Brandon is on the bottom. Rendon's going to try to clear that head with 15 seconds left. Brandon has him on a awkward headlock. Brandon is on the bottom, but he does have the headlock on Rendon. Rendon now clears the head. Ref's going to stop him for potentially dangerous. Score is going to be 6-1. 6-2 as the ref gives Rendon a technical violation for illegal lock of hands. So ref stops him with 0.9 seconds left in the first period. Score is 6-2 for Rendon Ostman over Brandon Brown. And that'll end the first period. And they're going to start the second period neutral. Rendon won the toss. So they'll start on their feet again. 6-2. Rendon Ostman over Brandon Brown. Both wrestlers still neutral. Clock ticks down to 1:30. Both wrestlers still neutral. And now Rendon tries to shoot in. Brandon catches him, puts him on his back, and pins him. So Brandon Brown is going to get the pin on Rendon Ostman on just a big mistake by Rendon, not staying in position and getting out of position. So Rendon Ostman falls by a pin. Up next, we're going to have Mason Burt again. He's going to be wrestling Crew Bowen. Mason Burt, Crew Bowen. This is Mason's second match. Still trying to conserve my voice here, but not working that well. Crew shoots in for the Fireman's, turns it into a single. Still trying to get it, does the lift. Mason pushing down on the head, trying to keep him from getting it, and Crew does an amazing job right there with blocking the ankle from a single leg and putting him down and getting the 3-point takedown. Crew then almost gets some near fall points, but ref is going to stop him as they roll out of bounds, bring him back to the center. Score is 3-0 for Crew Bowen over Mason Burt. Mason tries to go to his feet. Crew doing a good job of sticking with him, trips the ankle, keeps the arms, breaks him back down flat on the mat. Crew now working the ankle, working the back legs, working the arms, doing a good job of keeping that body on him, keeping that weight on him. Mason tries to get to his hands and knees. Mason's now going to go to his feet. Crew's going to do a lift here and try to take him back down. Nope, he's just going to do a front ankle trip and put him down flat. Broke him down again. They're getting dangerously close to the out of bounds on the far side of the mat. Crew now with the reverse arm bar. Trying to walk it around. He has the double arm bar. He's just got to keep walking that around and get him on his back. He does. Ref's now taking a look. Mason Burt's on his back. Crew sucking it up. 20 seconds left in the first period. Crew sucking it up harder. I don't think he's going to be able to pin him as he gets just a little bit high on him. And now Mason's going to pull his head out from underneath him and get the 2-point reversal after Crew gets the 3 or 4 point near fall. So score is going to be 9-2 with 1.1 seconds left in the first period. They end up going out of bounds. Ref's going to stop him and bring him back to the center. Crew Bowen, Mason Burt. That's the end of one, 9-2. Mason wins the toss. He's going to defer. Crew is going to choose to start neutral. Second round starts 9-2. Mason Burt, Crew Bowen. Crew shoots in for that single, has it, clears the head, gets another 3-point takedown. Score is going to be 12-2. Crew now working on that tight waist. Mason trying to go to his feet. He gets to his feet, and normally I'd say his Crew is going to do a lift, but I think he might not do anything and allows Mason to get 1-point escape. Wrestlers are neutral, 1:20 on the clock. Second period, score is 12-3 now. Crew Bowen over Mason Burt. Both wrestlers neutral. Crew with classic fireman's carry. He gets the leg deep. Mason does a good job with a crossface and doesn't allow Crew to follow through with the fireman's. And now Mason is working on the half Nielsen. He's way high. If he can get around behind him, he'll get a 3-point takedown. Now Mason trying to go to the cradle. Crew does a good job of keeping the leg. Doesn't allow Mason to get around behind him. They're going to go out of bounds again, and ref's going to stop him and bring him back neutral. "36 seconds on the clock, second period." Nice little head shuck there. Crew tries to get around behind him, but Mason does a good job of keeping the arm. And now he's going to put Crew on his back. Crew's able to get back to his stomach. Mason with a hard crossface there. Mason getting a little higher on him, trying to work on that cradle. Crew doing a good job of keeping his legs out, keeping in his base stance. Mason now trying to get that cradle. He's got the hands and the arm locked, and he's going to roll Crew on his back. 1 second left on the clock. Not going to get it. He is going to get the 4 points near fall. Score is going to now be 12-10. Sorry, 12-6 to start the third period. No, 12-10, yes, to start the third period. Crew will be on the bottom. Mason will be on top. Mason trying to keep Crew from getting to his feet. Crew gets to his feet. Mason takes him back down. Mason staying behind him, trying to work that sidearm bar. Crew getting broke down flat. Mason has the half Nelson. He's just got to walk it around. Crew's on his back. The ref's going to get down and take a look. Mason has that half Nelson deep. I don't know if Crew can get out of this. Good chest to chest there by Mason. Mason gets the pin. Mason Burt with the pin over Crew Bowen. Up next, we're going to have Cooper Ivy and Logan MacArthur. Logan shoots in for the double, has the double, gets the 3-point takedown. Working hard on that upper body already. Cooper Ivy trying to get back to his hands and knees. Logan with a nice tight waist there. Cooper tries to sit out. Logan follows him right around, picks the ankle. Logan still doing a good job of maintaining control as Cooper spins both directions. Getting far close to that far side of the out of bounds. Logan, I think, for a minute thought he was out of bounds, and so he kind of stalled up a minute. Ref let him keep wrestling. Cooper trying to do a sit out and get around him. Logan does a good job of following him around. Hard crossface there by Logan. Logan doing a good job keeping his weight centered on him. Picks that ankle. Turns it into a standing cradle. He almost had the hands and legs locked, but he lost the lock. Cooper now trying to get back to his hands and knees. Logan doing a good job staying on top, and Cooper's going to get a 1-point escape. Score's going to be 3-1 with 40 seconds left in the first period. Both wrestlers neutral. Logan shoots in for the single, misses. Cooper tries to take advantage of that, and both wrestlers are locked with that headlock. That's going to be a technical. Cooper Ivy is going to get awarded 1 point, so now the score will be 3-2 with 30 seconds left on the clock. Both wrestlers neutral. Logan trying to do a little head drag there, pops up, shoots in for the double. He gets both legs. He's going to get the 3-point takedown. Logan gets around behind him. Cooper trying to get to his hands and knees, trying to do a set out. Logan does a good job of staying with him, staying behind him. Clock's going to run out. End of 1. The score is 6-2 for Logan MacArthur. Logan's going to be on top as Cooper wins the toss and chooses to be on the bottom to start the second round. Cooper immediately goes to his feet. Mason tries to hang with him. Gets a little bit out of position, able to stay behind him. Cooper again to his feet, almost gets free, but Logan does a ankle strip there and takes him back down. No points scored. Cooper now trying to do a set out. Logan's going to do a reverse. Don't know what that was, but almost had him on his back. Cooper gets an escape. Both wrestlers neutral, 1:22 showing on the clock. Score is 6-2 for Logan MacArthur. Logan shoots for the double. Gets both legs, pulls his head, gets the 3-point takedown. Now he has kind of a reverse half, but he doesn't have the arm. He does have Cooper on his back. Ref's going to take a look, and Logan MacArthur is going to get the pin. Logan MacArthur over Cooper Ivory. Up next, we're going to go to Zachary Stringer and Garrett Saylor. Garrett Saylor's second match of the night. He won the first one by pinning Hayden Mott in the second round. And we'll start this match. Zach Stringer, Garrett Saylor. Garrett is able to spin around, get the 3-point takedown. Both wrestlers were neutral, and Garrett was just able to do kind of a head drag there and get him off balance, get the 3-point takedown. So Garrett's on top, 1 minute left in the first period. Garrett's still a little high. He's got to get back there and let that weight work for him. He's working on that half Nelson now. He has the arm, he has the head, he's chest to chest. Ref's taking a look. He loses grip, and ref's going to pin him pretty quick. I thought that was an awful quick pin, but Garrett Saylor is going to get the pin over Zachary Stringer. This referee, Mark from Roosevelt, very good referee, 16 years doing this. Up next, we're going to have Brenner Lamb and Brady Carpenter. This is Brenner Lamb's second match of the night. He lost to Gage Prescott a little earlier. Brenner Lamb, Brody Carpenter. Following the JV match, we're going to have the varsity match at 7 o'clock. Brenner Lamb almost gets the single leg takedown, but Brody Carpenter doing a good job of keeping his leg back.
And then
Got two more boys matches, and then we got two more girls matches. Brady tries to get in under there, can't do it. Brenner is going to put him on his back. Ref's down taking a look. Brody just really trying to do that single and got a little bit off balance. Brenner Lamb caught him on it, has the reverse half. He has Brady on his back. Ref's down taking a look. 1 minute showing on the clock, and somehow Brody is able to get back to his stomach. He's going to get the 3-point near fall for Brenner Lamb, puts the score at 7-0 with 50 seconds left in the first period. Brody Carpenter on the bottom, Brenner Lamb on top. Brenner doing a good job with that elbow ride. Brennan now working on that half Nelson. Brenner Lamb. A little high. You'd like to see Brody take advantage of that, kind of swing out the back. But Brenner Lamb doing a good job of keeping in control. He now loops that leg. Really working on that head and that arm. He has the half Nelson, but he's got to clear the leg to be able to roll him around. He clears the leg, starts to walk around, but just doesn't have it deep enough. Clock's going to run out. Score is 7-0 for Brenner Lamb over Brody Carpenter. Brenner Lamb wins the toss. He's going to defer. Brody Carpenter is going to choose to start the second round neutral. Brenner Lamb tries to do a little arm drag there. Brody doing a good job of staying back. Brenner Lamb now shoots for the fireman's, can't get it. Gets deep, but now Brody almost turning it into a headlock. Brenner now doing a lift. Brody still has the headlock. Neither wrestler has determined control until Brenner Lamb is able to clear the head, get back on top. He's going to get another 3-point takedown. Score is going to be 10-0 now for Brenner Lamb over Brody Carpenter with 1 minute left in the second period. Brody down flat on his stomach. Brenner working the upper body, working the arms. Brenner now trying to shoot that half in. He gets the half. He's going to walk it around. Brody does a good job of dragging that half off. Brenner now goes into a crossbody ride. Figure for the stomach, and ref's going to stop him for potentially dangerous. He's going to give him a technical. That'll score 1 point for Brody. Score is 10-1. 40 seconds left in the second period. Ref stops him and brings him back to the center of the mat. And now Brenner is going to try something different. He's going to place, instead of covering the elbow and covering the navel, he is allowed to place both hands on the back of his back, and that's just essentially going to give him a free 1-point escape. Brody stands up, takes the 1-point escape. Score is going to be 10-2 with 30 seconds left in the second period. Both wrestlers neutral. Brennan now trying to put on a headlock. He has the arm. He does the throw. He puts Brody on his back. He's solid, set chest to chest. 20 seconds on the clock. He sucks up the headlock. Ref is down, taking a look, and Brandon Lamb is going to get the pin on Brody Carpenter. Last JV match of the night is going to be Tyson Stringer and Nash Harlan.
All right, next up we have Tyson Stringer and Nash Harlan.
Tyson Stringer from Duchesne, Nash Harlan, and Tyson immediately shoots in for that single as soon as he blows the whistle, and he's going to get not a three-point takedown as they get almost out of bounds. He took him all the way to the far end of the mat, and now Nash is able to get around and get behind him. Still hasn't scored the points because he's got to clear that leg. Tyson Stringer, Nash Harlan with an excellent match going on here. Nash now throws on that cross face and is able to get the three-point takedown. Nash working on the cradle. Tyson breaks it. Nash working on the ankle pick, trying to break him down. Nash is getting way up in top of him and getting way out of position. We're going to see Tyson try to take advantage of that as he pulls on the leg with that single. Now Nash does the best thing he can do is with a hard crossface, trying to break that single. Stay in control. Score is 3-0 with 1 minute left in the first period. Nash working on the trailer, gets on the cradle, gets way out of position again and almost loses control to Tyson Stringer. Tyson still has the single leg. Tyson working on now trying to turn that into a cradle even from the bottom position. 40 seconds left on the clock. Nash now turning it into a cradle. He has the arm and the leg. He's going to try to roll him back. He gets him on his back. I don't think he can pin him because he has that arm up there. But ref's down taking a look anyway with 30 seconds on the clock. Score is still 3-0. I don't think Nash can pin him until he clears that arm. And now Tyson is able to break that grip, get a one-point escape, and immediately shoots in for the takedown. Nash is going to get a 4-point for a near fall, put the score at 7-0. Both wrestlers on the mat, but neither one of them have control. Neither one of them's got a takedown. Nash now trying to get away. Has a hard twist on the ankle. Time runs out. Score is 7-0 for Nash Harlan and Tyson Stringer. Nash Harlan wins the toss. He defers. Tyson Stringer is going to choose the second round on the bottom. Nash immediately goes for that cradle, gets a little bit out of position, allows Tyson to get that single, almost gets the reversal. Nice crossface there by Nash, keeps him from getting the reversal. Nash tries to go to that cradle again. Has the arm and the leg, he gets his hands locked, and now he's going to put him on his back. I don't think he can pin him because he hasn't cleared that arm, but ref is down taking a look, and now he's going to pin him. So Nash Harlan getting the pin over Tyson Stringer.
All right, our next match is Hayden Mott and Jesse Garcia.
We do have another match here, and I don't have it on my roster. Do we know who this is? We don't have this match on our roster. We think it's Hayden. I don't know who's wrestling for Duchesne, but Hayden immediately gets a 3-point takedown, does a cross tight waist and working on the single arm bar. Gets a 3-point takedown. If anybody at home knows who these wrestlers are, You can text us on that YouTube channel and let us know who we got. This match is not on my roster. If you go to the YouTube channel, there's a chat there on your bottom right. You can just text me a name over.
Where they can't chat, I can turn it on. I need to remember how.
Hayden is able to get his opponent on his back. 57 seconds left on the clock, and Hayden's going to get the pin. If you are watching, if you have any advice, any suggestions, please shoot them in. We have the screen right here in front of us. We'll take any comments we can get. Up next, we are going to have Caitlin Goforth and Caitlin McPhee. So, Caitlin Goforth and Caitlin McPhee. Don't know how I'm going to call this one, but Goforth immediately shoots in, gets on the reverse arm bar, gets the three-point takedown with kind of a duck under there. McPhee on the bottom, Goforth on top. Now Goforth has that reverse arm. She's going to pin her just like that. Katie Lynn Goforth with the quick pin. And Caitlin McPhee not doing well. Possible shoulder injury. Caitlin Goforth gets the pin. Caitlin McPhee very slow to get up. Possible shoulder injury there. She is able to get to her feet, but not doing well. And that is going to finish up our girls and JV wrestling match. We are going to be back on in about 10 minutes. We'll start with the national anthem and the introductions. If you're at home listening, if you have any messages for us, send them over. If you got any suggestions, shoot them on over. We'll take them. Going to let Duchesne warm up, and then we'll bring the Wildcats out to warm up. We'll then have the national anthem, and we will start the varsity round of the duels at 7 o'clock.
When I go my gas for me to varsity pool, was started the main box at 106 pounds. And then fires and four 113, Weston Ivy, will face about 4. Another 20 pounds, Tristan Parker and Blake Palmer. Another 26 pounds, Braylon Ivy and W. Atkinson. Another 32 pounds, Katie Burr will face Mary Weaver. The 38 pounds, Connor Scott and Dylan Siegel. Another 44 pounds, Brady Mixon, Morgan. Another 50 pounds, Dave Whitmer, winner Another 57 pounds, J.D. Diggins, will face Bryce Moore. Another 65 pounds, Caitlin Brown, will face Phil Woodward. Another 75 pounds, Wyatt Taylor, and Brody Larson. Another 190 pounds, Brian Freeman, winner by Morgan. 215 pounds, Jackson Samuel, will face Carl Jackson. Our heavyweight match, Calvin Hamilton and Trey Over. This time we can captains to the Central Leagues.
Okay, we're a little behind here, but going to turn that down just a little bit. We already have Emmett Barnes and Ford Thornton out on the mat. Ford already has a pin. Ford, a freshman, and we have some good freshmen here this year. We have an amazing freshman team that come up. Up next, we're going to have Weston Ivy and Tough Thornton. Tough Thornton, a sophomore here at South Summit. We watched Tough a couple of weeks ago pin his guy from UMA and from Ogden. Weston Ivy reaching in there for an ankle. Tough doing a good job of staying back, staying in good control, keeping his feet moving. Tough tying up the hands. And Weston shooting in for a single, and Tough doing a good job with a head chuck there to keep him from getting it. Now Tough shooting in for the single. He has the single. He's going to trap the elbow. Gets a three-point takedown. 1:12 on the clock. 3-0 for Tough Thornton. Tough on his back, tying up the legs. Tough with a tight waist there. They are close to the far edge of the mat, going near to going out of bounds, but this ref has been letting kids wrestle. They got to be all the way out before he calls it. Referee tonight is Mark. He's from Roosevelt. He's been doing this for 16 years. He is one of the good ones, so we're lucky to have him here tonight. Tough Thornton still working on Weston Ivy. Weston does a little spin out, is able to get a 1-point escape. Score is going to be 3-1 with 30 seconds on the clock. Tough dancing around, shoots in for the double, has the double, does the lift, puts him right on his head, and he's going to roll him over and get the 3-point takedown. He's going to put him on his back. Ref's down, taking a look. 13 seconds on the clock. Tough Thornton sucking the arm up, sucking the head up. And somehow Weston Ivy's able to get back on his hands and knees. Tough is going to start the second round on top. Score is 10-1 after the near falls and the takedown. Weston was able to get the 1-point escape. Tough puts on a tight waist, chops that elbow. Weston tries to spin out, get around, tries to do a reverse. Tough with a good job of holding on to that elbow. Weston able to get to his hands and knees facing him. Gets Tough a little bit out of position, but now Tough's going to work into that near side cradle. Weston does a good job of rolling out of that. Tough now behind him, ties up the leg, working on the arms. 1:20 left on the clock. Score is 10-1 for Tough Thornton. Tough now gets a reverse headlock, and I can't tell. Weston almost had the headlock. They both had a headlock. Weston ends up getting a 2-point reversal, puts the score at 10-3. Tough now working on getting his reversal. Does a reverse arm bar with a leg caught up in there. and it's not going to give him the reversal. 48 seconds on the clock. They're kind of in a stalemate. Tough needs to just do that hard crossface, break that grip, and now he does. Gets the 2-point reversal. Score is going to be 12-3 with 37 seconds on the clock. Tough working on that reverse arm bar. Weston Ivy doing a good job of rolling around, getting to his stomach, trying to get to his hands and knees. Facing Tough now. And Tough tries to do a reverse arm bar, can't get it. Weston does a good job rolling back into the center of the mat, getting on his stomach, working on his hands and knees. Gets to his knees, trying to go to his feet, trying to do a set out. Tough getting a little bit out of position here. Didn't stay around behind him. Clock's going to run out. Second period, score is going to be 14-3. Weston wins the toss. He's going to choose to start second round neutral. Weston shoots in for a single. Tough does a good job of stretching out. Does a reverse tight waist. Tough. Weston still has the single, but he hasn't managed to get control. Kind of in a stalemate there. Tough still trying to keep Weston from scoring the 3-point takedown. Score is 14-3 at this point. And now Weston is going to get the 3-point takedown. Score is going to be 14-6. Third period, 1:23 on the clock. Weston going to that crossbody ride, loops the leg. 1 minute left here in the third period. Score is 14-6 for Tough Thornton over Weston Ivy. Weston Ivy still on top, working that reverse armbar. Both wrestlers near the out of bounds. Weston Ivy still on top. Score is still 14-6. Clock ticks down to 45 seconds. Weston trying to get something going here. Tough trying to get to his feet. Tough kind of doing a reverse armbar, reverse tight waist there. He has the reverse armbar. Loses it. Still on the bottom. Weston Ivy on top. Still has that crossbody ride with the leg. 19 seconds left on the clock. Score is 14-6 for Tough Thornton. Tough trying to do the reversal. He gets the legs cleared. He's trying to get around, but he's got to break that head. He's got to break that arm grip. And now he's going to get the 2-point reversal. 16-6. 10 seconds left. 5 seconds left on the clock, and that's going to be it. Tough Thornton over Weston Ivy.
Next up, we have our 120-pound match, Tristan Park and Blake Holder.
Up next, we got 120 pounds. We have Tristan Park and Blake Pulver. Blake Pulver, a sophomore. Blake reaches in for that single leg, pulls it up, trying to get it. Tristan doing a good job of stretching out. Both wrestlers still neutral. Blake with the single leg. Tristan Park with the ankle. Neither wrestler has control. If Blake pulls his head and clears his head, he'll get the takedown. If Tristan Park can get around behind him and break the grip on his leg, he'll get the takedown. Tristan Park now with a hard crossface, trying to break that grip. 1 minute left in the first period, and now Tristan is able to break that grip. He's going to get the 3-point takedown. Tristan Park on top of Blake Pulver, scores 3-0. 1 minute left in the first period. Both wrestlers still. Blake Pulver on the bottom trying to get to his feet. But they end up going out of bounds. Ref stops him, brings him back to the center. Blake Pulver's on the bottom. Tristan Park on top. Score is 3-0 for Tristan Park. 28 seconds left. Tristan Park still on top. Tristan Park with a hard crossface twice. Tristan Park working that upper body, trying to get that crossface with the ankle pick. Can't do it. Blake's doing a good job keeping his legs wide, keeping that balance. Tristan Park now tries a crossface from the other side. Tristan Park moves to a cross body, but time's going to run out. Score is 3-0 going into the second round for Tristan Park over Blake Pulver, sorry. I've been calling him Bryce Pulver. This is Blake Pulver and Tristan Park. Tristan on the bottom, Blake on top. Tristan immediately goes to his feet. Blake tries to keep the leg, but can't do it, and Tristan Park's going to get a 2-point reversal. Score is now 5-0 with 1:42 left in the second period. Blake Pulver on the bottom. Blake going to his feet, gets a 1-point escape. Score is going to be 5-1. Wrestlers are neutral. Tristan shoots in for the single, gets it, gets another 3-point takedown. Score is going to be 8-1, 1 minute left in the second period. Blake on the bottom, Tristan now working for that cradle. He gets the arm and the leg, he puts Blake on his back. Blake does a good job of rolling right through it and goes out of bounds. Ref's going to stop him before any points are scored. Score is still 8-1, 1:05 on the clock, second period. Blake Pulver, Tristan Park. Blake on the bottom, Tristan on top. Tristan working on the legs, working on the arm, trying to break him down. Blake's doing a really good job of keeping his stance, staying wide. Tristan really putting that weight into him. Hard crossface now by Tristan as he tries to do the cradle, can't get it. Blake keeps those legs stretched out. 32 seconds left on the clock, second period. Tristan now doing another crossface, trying to break him down. And I think at some point the ref's going to possibly work towards a stalling call. Tristan now going to trying to work those double arms. Blake gets to his knees, kind of in a sitting position, tries to spin out. Tristan follows him. Blake's sitting again, working those hands. Time's going to run out. Score is going to be 8-1 for Tristan Park over Blake Pulver. Wrestlers will start the third round neutral. Tristan trying to get the takedown, works around behind him, ducks under, and gets on top for the 3-point takedown. Scores now 11-1. Right now, Tristan does a nice arm drag there. He's going to get another 3-point takedown, and Tristan stands up, gives him the escape. Scores 14-3. 1 minute left in the third period. Both wrestlers neutral. Tristan doing a hard crossface as Blake shoots in for the single. Blake has the leg, Tristan does a good job getting around behind him, gets another 3-point takedown. Score's now 17-3, 57 seconds left. Tristan working the tight waist. Tristan working the upper arm. Now Tristan's going to let him back up, give him the 1-point escape. 45 seconds left on the clock, 17-4. Both wrestlers neutral. Tristan shoots in for the single. That turns it into a duck under. Gets the 3-point takedown. That puts it at 20-4. That's a major decision for Tristan Park.
In the 126 round, we have Braden Ivy and Duffy Atkinson.
Up next, Braden Ivy, Duffy Atkinson. Duffy Atkinson is a freshman. He had a pin versus UMA and against Ogden. So we'll see how he does tonight. Duffy Atkinson, Braylon Ivy. Trying to conserve my voice a little bit. Duffy tries to do a little ankle grab there and doesn't quite get it. Braylon doing a good job staying on his feet. Both wrestlers still neutral. Now Duffy tries to do a headlock, gets out of position, misses the head, and Braden Ivy gets the 3-point takedown. Braden now working on the tight waist. Braden on the elbow chop. Gets around behind him. Braden on top. Duffy on the bottom. Score is 3-0, and now Braden tries to stack him. Can't do it. Now Braden goes under the head, under his arm with his head, tries to roll him over. Can't do it. Duffy doing a good job of staying on his hands and knees. Braden with a super tight waist there and an elbow chop drops Duffy back down. Duffy doing a good job of staying wide, staying shred, but Braden Ivy in control of this match with 42 seconds left in the first period. Score is 3-0 for Braden Ivy. Duffy still on the bottom, Braden still on the top. Braden working towards that crossbody ride, gets the leg looped, working on the head and the arm now. Gets a little bit out of position now, loses the crossbody ride. Duffy trying to take advantage of it and can't. Duffy now has the leg. Got to clear the head to get that reversal. Score is still 3-0, 8 seconds left on the clock. Duffy trying to get to his feet. Braden throws it into a crossbody ride and time's going to run out. Score is still 3-0. Duffy wins the toss. He defers. Braden's going to start the second round neutral. Scoreboard has it at 2. Supposed to be 3. There, they change it now. Score is 3-0 for Braden Ivy. And they start the second round. Both wrestlers still neutral. Duffy shoots in for the single, turns it into a double, gets a 2-point takedown. 3-point takedown, scores tied at 3, 128 in the second period. Duffy on top, working on the bottom, working on the top. Braden Ivy on the bottom. Duffy trying to do that crossbody ride with a cradle, gets a little bit out of position. Duffy still on top. Clock ticks down to 1 minute. Duffy still working on that cradle. Braden Ivy on the bottom. Score tied at 3. Braden trying to get free. Duffy doing a good job of staying on top. He's a little bit out of position, trying to get that crossbody ride with a cross cradle. Duffy now getting a little bit high on him. You'd like to see Duffy get back around him or else get that leg in that head locked. Turn it into a cradle. And he does. He gets the head locked. Tries to roll him onto his back. He does. I don't think he can pin him because he has the arm still stuck out, but he's going to get some near fall points out of it. Ref down, taking a look. 20 seconds left on the clock. Duffy has Braden on his back. Duffy Atkinson, one of the freshmen here, with Braden Ivy. Braden Ivy somehow gets to his stomach. Duffy's going to get the 4 points near fall. Score's going to be 7-3 with 5 seconds left. And that's going to end it for 2. And Braden all but had a reversal as the clock wind down. Right when the buzzer, he had the reversal. Ref doesn't give it to him. Score's going to be 7-3 starting the third round. Who's watching?
It's just analytics right
Oh,
63.
oh wow. That's probably the most we've ever had. Really? Okay, we're back to round 3. Duffy on the bottom, Braden on top. Duffy tries to do a reversal. Braden pulls the arm, sticks Duffy on his back. Can't quite do anything with it, but Duffy flat on his stomach. Braden working towards that single arm bar. He's going to get that head under there, try to roll him over. Duffy does a good job pulling the arm. Braden goes to a tight waist with an arm bar. Trying to work the arm bar with a half Nielsen. Duffy gets back to his hands and knees. Score is 7-3, 1:20 left in the third period. Braden now has the arm bar locked. He's trying to get the half to walk it around. Duffy getting up to his hands and knees. Braden with the tight waist. Duffy goes for the reversal, ends up with the reversal, puts Braden on his back. Ref's down taking a look. And Duffy with a great move there, puts Braden right on his back and pins him. Duffy Atkinson with the big pin. 1 minute left in the third period. And that was really just a lot of great wrestling right there. 2.5 full rounds. Both wrestlers in control at various points. Next on the mat, Kason Bird and Barry Winter. Barry Winter, another one of the freshmen here at South Summit. And an amazing, both wrestlers shoot at the same time on the whistle, hit heads. Bear turns it into a fireman. Kason tries to turn it into a single leg. Both wrestlers really going at it. Bear still has the single. Kason trying to break free. And now Bear breaks underneath, gets the 3-point takedown, and they end up going out of bounds. Ref stops him. Brings him back. Kason Bird on the bottom. Bear Winter on top. So ref starts him again. Kason immediately goes to his feet. And a big throw there by Bear Winter puts Kason on his back. Kason went right to his feet, and Bear just flipped the arm and put him right flat down on the mat. He's going to get the 3-point near fall. Score's going to be 6-0, and now wrestlers are back facing each other on their knees. And now Kason is going to get the 1-point escape. Both wrestlers on their feet neutral. 6-1, 1 minute left, first period. And Bear shoots in, gets a little bit out of shape. That allows Kason to get a standing cradle, puts Bear on his back for just a moment, doesn't score any points. He does get the takedown. Score's going to be 6-4. Now Kason on top, working that cradle. Going to try to turn Bear over. Bear doing a good job staying spread out. Breaks that grip of Kason, gets flat on his stomach. Kason is still on top, has the legs looped. 30 seconds left on the clock in the first round. Score is 6-4 for Bear Winter. Kason on top, working the tight waist, keeping the legs tied up. Bear trying to get up, really can't do a whole bunch there. Kason really doing a good job keeping that weight in, and they end up going out of bounds. Ref's going to stop him, bring him back. 16 seconds left on the clock, first round. Bear Winter, Kason Bird. They will start the second round with Bear on the They will finish the first round. And now the ref's clarifying that Bear got 3 near fall points. Score is going to be 9-4 for Bear Winter with 16 seconds left in the first round. Bear is going to start on the bottom. Kason Bird on top. Kason Bear immediately goes to his feet. Kason trying to hold him down. Bear still on his feet, clears the head. He's got to clear the leg in order to get the reversal. 9-4, 3 seconds left. Bear has to clear that leg in order to get the 2 points. He does at the whistle. He gets the 2-point reversal at the whistle. Score is going to be 11-4 to start 2. Kason wins the toss. He defers. Bear's going to start neutral in the second round on their feet. Both wrestlers almost shot again at the same time. Bear now shoots in, can't get anything. Kason shoots in, can't get anything. Still on their feet. Score is 11-4 for Bear Winter. Bear shoots in for the double. He has the legs. Kason doing a good job of stretching out and keeping those arms in there. Doesn't allow him to score the points. Bear trying to get around behind him, ties up the leg. He does have to clear the head to get the 3-point takedown. But Kason doing a good job of pulling him around. And now Bear is able to get the 3-point takedown. Turns it into a half Nelson. He's got Kason almost on his back. Not enough to score any points. Score is still 14-4. 1 minute left in the second period. Bear Winter on top. Kason Bird on the bottom. Kason working the leg, or Kason trying to get to his hands and knees. Bear working the legs, keeping those legs tied up. Doing a good job with his weight distribution. Kason now trying to do the reversal. Gets the leg wrapped. Can't quite get around before they run out of bounds. The ref is going to stop him, bring him back to the center. Kason will still be on the bottom. Bear will be on top. Score is 14-4. 43 seconds left in the second period. Kason immediately goes for the set out. Bear follows him around. Stays behind him. Kason on his hands and knees. Bear trying to work the arms, upper body. Bear has the arm tied up. Kason trying to sit out from him a little. Bear does a good job of following him around. You see Bear looking for that cradle, but he just doesn't have it. Bear now doing a tight waist and a half Nelson from the hands and knees. That usually doesn't work well. But sometimes it does. Kason trying to sit out. Bear catches him. Holds down on the arm, but time's going to run out. They are going to give no points for the near fall. Score is going to be 14. Score is 14-4. Starting the third period, and they're going to start the third period neutral. Both on their feet. Both of these wrestlers, good takedown wrestlers. Bear shoots for the single. Pulls the leg. Kason does a good job getting his arms in there, stretching out. Bear still working on the single. Kason does a good job of pushing his hips down into him, pulling that ankle. Doesn't allow Bear to get the single. Bear still working on the single. Steps his leg around, and now all he's got to do is clear the head, break the arm, and he'll have the 3-point takedown. 1:22 left in the third period, and now Bear is able to get the 3-point takedown. Score's going to be 17-4, 1:16 left in the third period. Bear now on top, working the tight waist, does the elbow chop. Kason in a sitting position. Keeps that leg stretched out. Bear does a roll under, puts Kason on his back. Ref's going to go down, take a look. 56 seconds left on the clock. And Bear's going to get the 4-point near fall, which puts it to a major decision. Match is over. 54 seconds left in the third period. Up next, we have Connor Conca from Duchesne and Ryland Teeples.
Ryland Teeples.
Ryland Teeples, a senior here at South Summit. Ryland Teeples, Connor Conca. Ryland shoots in for the single, does the ankle pick. Gets around behind him, gets a 3-point near fall. Connor immediately gets to his feet, gets the 1-point escape. Scores 3-1 in the first 10 seconds. Both wrestlers on their feet, neutral. Ryland shoots in for a fireman, backs back out. Still on their feet, still neutral. Ryland with another ankle pick. He's going to end up with the 3-point takedown. Score's going to be 6-1. Ryland Teeples on top, Connor Conca on the bottom. Ryland trying to work towards that cradle. Has the head. Connor does a good job with the arch there. Ryland turns it into a crossbody, loops the leg. He's going to try to loop that arm now. 1 minute left in the first period. Score is 6-1. Ryland Teeples driving those hips in, keeping Connor broke down. Ryland really forcing those hips in, keeping Connor down flat, wearing him down. 38 seconds on the clock. Ryland on top. Connor goes that crossbody ride, loops the leg, pulls on the other leg. Going to try to roll him over, but Connor keeps those ankles locked. Doesn't allow him to get the spread. Clock down to 10 seconds. First period. Ryland now able to get the arm looped, trying to pull him around. But he's not going to be able to do anything as time is. Score is going to be 9-1. They're going to give him 3 points for the near fall. They'll start the second round, 9-1 for Ryland Teeples over Connor Conca. Connor Conca is going to start on the bottom. Ryland Teeples will be on top. Immediately, Connor tries to go to his feet. Ryland with a tight waist drops him right back down. Turns it into the arm bar. Trying to keep him broke down. Trying to walk that arm bar around. Connor doing a good job keeping spread out, keeping him from tipping over. Connor still spread out, still on his stomach. Ryland working that arm bar hard. And ref's going to stop him for potentially dangerous. He's going to give Connor Conca 1 point for a technical hold. The ref's going to bring him back to the center. Connor Conca will be on the bottom. Ryland Teeples on top. Score is now 9-2 with 1:30 left in the second period. Connor tries to go to his feet. Ryland with a nice tight waist arm chop. Turns it into a crossbody ride. Loops the leg, trying to do that split again, but Connor does a good job of keeping those ankles tied. Connor still on the bottom. Ryland working now towards a cradle. But the strength of Connor is keeping him from getting those hands locked. Score is 9-2. Ref's going to stop him for a stalemate. 55.5 seconds left in the second period. Connor comes back to the center on the bottom. Ryland on top. Connor goes to his feet. Ryland tries to do a trip. They end up going out of bounds before any points are scored. Ref's going to bring him back to the center. Connor Conca on the bottom. Ryland Teeples on top. Score still 9-2. 48 seconds left in the second period. Connor immediately goes to his feet again, and a nice trip there by Ryland Teeples takes him right back down flat. Ryland Teeple's now on top, tying those legs up. Forcing those hips down in, making Connor carry all the weight. Ryland with a hard crossface. And he's going to try to roll him over with a crossface. I don't think he's going to be able to pin him, but he is going to score some points. Ryland with that spread eagle with the leg and some kind of a reverse half. And now he gets him chest to chest. Now he got a shot at it. Ryland Teeples has Connor stuck on his back. Ref's down taking a look. 2 seconds left on the clock. And he pins him with 0.7 seconds left in the second period. Ryland Teeples pins Connor Conca.
Next up at 144 pounds, Reagan Crittenden. Winner by
Team scores right now at 21-5, but we do have 2 forfeits from Duchesne. Zane Winter will have a forfeit, and Regan Crittenden will have a forfeit.
157 pounds, Jason Jenkins and Bryce Moore.
Next at 157, Jace Jenkins, and now we watch Bryce Pulver. Bryce Pulver, a senior here at South Summit. And immediately, Jace Jenkins shoots in. Bryce does a good job turning it into a headlock and puts Jace Jenkins right on his back and pins him in 13 seconds. So Bryce Pulver with the win over Jace Jenkins in 13 seconds.
165 pounds, Jason Brown and Steel Woodward.
Up next at 165, Kason Crum and Still Woodward. Still Woodward, another one of the freshmen here. Still Woodward with a nice fireman carry, but he doesn't get it deep enough. He is able to get him down on the mat, but he's going to run out of bounds before he scores any points. Ref's going to stop him, bring him back to the center. On their feet, neutral, no points. Kaysen shooting in there, trying to get something, can't do it. Steele does a good job getting those arms in there, stretching those legs out. Both wrestlers still neutral on their feet. Kaysen reaches in there for an ankle grab, can't get it. Steele reaches in for an ankle, can't get it. Both wrestlers still neutral. 1:17 on the clock, no points scored. Kaysen Steele shoots in for another fireman. Doesn't get it deep enough, almost gets him down. Both wrestlers are still neutral, on their hands and knees facing each other. Kaysen doing a good job of keeping those arms in there. Now Steele's able to spin around behind him. Almost gets the takedown, but doesn't before Kaysen gets on his feet. No points scored. 45 seconds left in the first round. Both wrestlers on their feet and neutral. Both wrestlers still neutral, 20 seconds left. Steele backs away, breaks loose. 5 seconds left on the clock. And that's going to end the first round, no points scored. Steele wins the toss. He defers. Kaysen's going to start, or Jace Jenkins is going to start the second round on the bottom. Jace tries to go to his feet. Gets to his feet, still trying to drop the leg and do a trip, keep him down. They're on the far side of the mat, almost ready to go out of bounds. Still in control. And they are completely out of bounds, and the ref is still letting them wrestle. Really like that about this ref. Steele, Woodward, Case and Crum. No points scored, 1:20 left in the second period. Jace trying to do a sit out. Steele follows him right around. Steele in good position, keeps the leg locked. And now the ref finally stops him out of bounds. No points scored. 1:09 on the clock, second period. Ref brings him back to the center. Kaysen will be on the bottom. Steele, Woodward on top. Kaysen still on his hands and knees. Steele pulls the ankle, trying to break him down. Still maybe trying to work towards that cradle. Drops the cradle, goes back to the half Nelson. Kaysen trying to get back to his hands and knees. Still trying to do the half Nelson on hands and knees, and usually doesn't work. Steele gets around to the other side, keeps his weight on him. Ref's going to stop him for potentially dangerous. Nope, it's a blood timeout. So we're going to take a little break here. 25 seconds left on the clock, second period. Score tied at 0. Jace Jenkins, Bryce Pulver. Sorry. Kaysen Crum, Steele Woodward. I got one line down. Kaysen Crum, Steele Woodward. Sorry about the confusion. Kaysen Crum and Steele Woodward tied at 0. 25 seconds left in the second period. Pausing for a blood timeout. Team scores at the moment. South Summit 45, Duchesne 5. Looks like they got it cleaned up and stopped. We're going to come back to wrestle. Kaysen Crum will be on the bottom. Steele Woodward on top. 25 seconds left, second period. Kaysen trying to go to his feet. Steele goes to a standing cradle. Kaysen does a good job flattening out, spreading out, breaks that grip. Steele can't get it. Kaysen now going back to his hands and knees. Kaysen now trying to work into a reversal. Steele a little bit out of position. Kaysen still trying to get that reversal. 5 seconds left on the clock. And time's going to run out before any points are scored. So we are going to start the third period. Score tied at 0. Steele Woodward, freshman. Kaysen Crum from Duchesne. We're going to start the third period with Steele Woodward on the bottom, Kaysen Crum on top. Steele trying to get to his feet. Kaysen keeps the leg. Trying to break Steele back down. Steele trying to get away and gets the 1-point escape. Score is now 1-0. Steele shoots in for the double, and they end up going clear off the mat into the basketball floor. Ref's going to stop him, bring him back. Starting neutral. 1:45 showing on the clock. Steele Woodward, 1-0. Ref's having a talk with him. Kaysen shoots in for the single, can't get it. Steele keeps him out. Both wrestlers neutral on their feet. 1:37 in the third period. Score 1-0 by an escape with Steele. Steele tries to do a head check, almost gets caught on it. Next takedown wins. 1:20 on the clock. Steele shoots in for an ankle pick, can't get it. Steele shoots for another ankle pick. Turns to a single, can't get it. Back on his feet. Back neutral. Still shoots for a fireman's. Can't get it. Didn't get it deep enough. Pulls up on the leg and gets a 3-point takedown. But he's able to turn it into a duck under. Gets a 3-point takedown. 1 minute exactly on the clock. Score is 4-0. Steele Woodward over Kason Crum. Kason now on the bottom, trying to get up to his hands and knees. Steele does that crossbody, pulls, laces the legs, forces his hips in, breaks Kason Crum down flat. Now Steele trying to get that half Nelson. Kind of into a single arm bar now, trying to roll him over. Want to make sure Steele stays in position here. He's getting a little high on him. Kason trying to take advantage of it, trying to sit out around him. Steele's got to get back in position. 26 seconds left on the third period. Score is 4-0 for Steele. Kason trying to get that reversal. He gets the leg. He's going to get his hand. He's going to get wrapped around, and he's going to put Steele on his back. He has a reverse cradle. Steele doing everything he can to get back to his stomach. Kason is going to get the 2-point reversal. He probably should have got some near foul points. 4 seconds left on the clock. Time's going to run out in the third period. Score is showing 4-2. And I don't think Kason had him on his back long enough to get the points. So Steele is going to end up with the win, 4-2, 3 full rounds. Excellent wrestling match there. Kason Crum should not be hanging his head. That was a heck of a match. One of the best ones of the night. Good job there by Steele Woodward holding on to that. It got tight there at the end. Up next, Brody Larson. He's a junior wrestling Wyatt Wager from Duchesne. Wyatt shooting in. Can't get it. Both wrestlers still neutral. Brody doing a good job staying out, keeping his legs stretched out. Ref's going to call a stalemate, bring him back to the center, start him neutral. .119 showing on the clock. Wyatt shoots in, can't get it. Brody shoots in. Tries to have the standing cradle, gets his head around, reverse half, still neutral. He's walking it around, but neither wrestler scores any points. Still neutral, still on their feet. They break up, come back to the center. Brody does a fake shot in, another one. Both wrestlers shoot at the same time. Locking heads. 45 seconds left on the clock. Score 0-0. Ref's going to call him a stalemate, bring him back to the center. 32 seconds left in the first period. Both wrestlers will start neutral. Brody kind of shoots in and kind of gets around behind him. Wyatt shot in, and Brody was able to sneak around behind him, get the 3-point takedown. Brody now getting back to his feet. Wyatt gets flipped on his back. Brody shoots the half. He's got him on his back. The ref's taking a look. 10 seconds left on the clock. And now he's got him chest to chest and gets him. 3.5 seconds left showing on the clock. Brody Larson gets the pin in the first round.
Brody Larson. At 190 pounds, Brian Freeman.
Up next, Brian Freeman is going to have a forfeit. Two matches left.
215 pounds, Jackson Stanfield. Bo Jackson.
We are going to watch Bo Jackson and Jackson Stanfield. Bo Jackson, a senior. Ref doing an amazing job here. Mark from Roosevelt. One of the best ref matches I've seen all year long. This guy knows how to let him wrestle. He knows when to call it. And they're out of bounds. He's going to call it and bring him back in. Bo Jackson, Jackson Stanfield. Both wrestlers still neutral on their feet. Jackson doing trying to set something up here. He has the arm in the headlock. He does a step behind, puts Bo Jackson on his back. He's going to get the 3-point takedown. He's got the headlock sucked up, and Bo Jackson's in trouble. Jackson Stanfield sucking it up tighter. 50 seconds left on the clock. I don't think Bo is going to be able to get out of this one. Jackson really has that headlock armbar sucked up tight. The ref's still taking a look. Jackson sucking it up tighter. 40 seconds left on the clock. And right there, he sucks it up tighter, and right there's it. Jackson Stanfield is going to get the pin on Bo Jackson.
Winner by Bo Jackson Stanfield. For our final match.
Team score showing right now at 61-11. Up next at the heavyweight, we got Calvin Hamilton and Trayvon Boger. Trayvon getting right after it, pulls the leg, gets the 3-point takedown. He's going to let him back up. Trayvon going at it again, gets another 3-point takedown, scores 6-1 with 10 seconds gone. Another 1-point escape, 6-2 with 15 seconds gone. Trayvon going in for the leg, gets around, gets another takedown. Score is going to be 9-2, less than 20 seconds into the first round. Neutral again, 9-3. 1:30 left in the first round. And now Bogar shoots in for the single, gets another 3-point takedown. Scores 12-6. Now Trayvon's going to roll him on his back. Ref's down taking a look, and that's going to be it. Trayvon Bogar with the pin. Another great night of wrestling. South Summit Duels with Duchesne. Want to thank them for coming. Excellent night of wrestling. We are going to sign out. We will be back at the next duel. If you want to go to South Summit webpage, you'll be able to look under athletics, see what the schedule is, and that's when we will have the next match. Till then, we're out.
Please use caution as you leave the building. This is slick outside on the sidewalk. You can do us a favor.